CK. Happy week of April. Today's the 28th. I hope you're staying healthy at home. Today we're going to look at a story together about a type of animal. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. Today we're going to look at a story about a frog, but before we do that, the main focus that we're working on is finding the meaning of unknown words. So earlier in the week, you might have read the story about the lungfish, and there were some words in the story that were like, oh, what does that mean? What is the story trying to tell us about with that word? So a question we can ask ourselves is, what clues can I find in the other words? And what clues can I find in the pictures? So those are the two questions we're going to be asking ourselves as we look at this story together. So we're going to skip past the last story, lungfish, and we are going to look at the new story today. It's also a weird animal called wood frogs. Okay, so today our story is called Wood Frogs. And in this story, we're going to learn about this frog and how it does something very weird or interesting with its body. So I'm going to show you what a wood frog would look like in real life. Most of them are brown, kind of the same color as maybe a tree, like the bark on a tree. They look like generally small, they're not too big. But the amazing thing that a wood frog can do, look at this picture. Kind of looks like maybe there's some ice or snow on top. We're going to learn how a wood frog can freeze its body. It can go frozen. Now, if animals freeze, they get so cold, they might die. Well, this animal is able to still survive, okay? So we're going to take a look at this story together. We're just going to take a quick picture walk and look through the story. We see the title, Weird Animals, Wood Frogs, and this is informational text. That means it's going to be about something in real life. So as we're reading today, we're going to see that this story is going to give us a lot of facts and details about wood frogs, and we're also going to see some headings or some titles on each of the pages. All right, this is written by Rachel Graham. It's written by her, she's the author. So if we look, I know it's kind of hard to see in black and white, but this picture shows a wood frog freezing when it gets cold. This shows the wood frog. It looks like it's sitting maybe on like mushrooms or some like fungi on a tree, sitting there. Look all around that. That is ice surrounding the wood frog. And here we see the wood frog is actually frozen. Then, here it is, swimming in the water. Okay, so we're going to learn more about how the wood frog is a weird animal and what it does to survive in its environment. I'm going to read the story to you, and I want you to go ahead and follow along with me. Can you think of something that gets hard and freezes when it's very cold? Think to yourself, what is something that gets hard and freezes when it's cold? Water freezes. What else can freeze? Leaves can freeze up. If it's like our hands are frozen, they get really hard. Water turns to ice. But did you know some frogs can freeze too? Wood frogs freeze when it gets cold. Then when it warms up, they warm up too. A wood frog can freeze when it gets cold. The heading on this page is Finding a Safe Place. Wood frogs rest when they are frozen. They sleep all winter. A wood frog finds a spot to rest in the fall. This place must be safe. The frog will stay there all winter. This frog has found a good place to rest. They're resting, they're sitting, they're sleeping, they're staying put. This heading says Winter in Ice. Winter is cold. Lots of things freeze. Ice can go all around a wood frog. It covers its whole body. Much of the water in a wood frog's body turns to ice, but the frog just sleeps. The water inside of the body, we do have water in our bodies too, but the water inside of the frog's body will freeze. But the frog isn't dead, he's just sleeping. Frozen frogs. A frozen wood frog feels hard like a rock. Its body stays very still. It does not move. Wood frogs can stay frozen for a very long time. The wood frog is frozen. Spring warm up. Spring comes. The frozen wood frog warms up. It starts to move again. The frog hops back to the pond where it was born. It returns every spring. It eats, jumps, and swims until the next winter. Then it freezes again. Where it is in the water swimming. So we see in this story how the wood frog's cycle of freezing and unfreezing, it goes through a pattern just like the seasons. If we start with summer, the wood frog's body will be warm, it'll be jumping around. Then we go to fall, it's going to start to rest. Winter, it'll freeze its body. Then comes spring, and we know the weather gets warmer in spring, so it will thaw out or it will unfreeze. All right, so now I want you to go back through the story, and you can reread that story to yourself or to someone in your family. Find sight words that you know, you can circle them or highlight them. You can find digraphs in there, blends, any vowel sounds that you remember, go ahead and circle them, and we'll go back and read through the questions together in a moment. Question 1. Read the first sentence. What does the word freezes mean? A, turns to ice, B, turns to water, or C, turns to wood? So let's go back to the first sentence. And what does it mean if something freezes? Here we go. Can you think of something that gets hard and freezes when it gets cold? When it is very cold, water turns to ice. But did you know some frogs can freeze too? So when something freezes, it's very cold, also hard. So let's go back and see if one of our answers matches. So what does freezes mean? Turns to ice, turns to water, or turns to wood? So when something freezes, think about an ice cube, a frozen ice cube. Does it turn to ice, turn to water, or turn to wood? Circle your answer. Question 2. What can wood frogs do? Wood frogs can freeze in the cold, wood frogs can make hard ice, or wood frogs can stay warm all year. All right, what did we read just in that last page? What did we read that wood frogs can do? That's pretty amazing. Circle your answer. Right, we're going to read this one together. Which picture shows what the word rest means? This is going to be on page 2 in the story. Which picture shows what the word rest means? So let's go back to page 2. Wood frogs rest when they are frozen. They sleep all winter. So let's find a picture that would show resting. Does he look like he's resting? I don't think so. Does he look like he's resting? Maybe. Let's check the last picture. Swimming. Is he resting? Circle the one that best shows the frog staying still or sleeping or staying still in a place. Question 4. What does the word spot mean? Okay, so let's go back to page 2. Does it mean safe, fall, or place? The word spot on page 2. A wood frog finds a spot to rest in the fall. This place must be safe. The frog will stay there all winter. So spot, finds a spot to rest. So let's go back to our questions. Does it mean When it finds a spot to rest, it finds a safe, finds a fall, or it finds a place to rest. Think about which one makes sense. It finds a safe to rest, a fall to rest, or a place to rest. Choose your answer. Question 5. What does the word whole mean? This is on page 3. Sometime, every part, or any place. All right, let's go back to page 3. We're looking for the word whole. Winter is cold, lots of things freeze. Ice can go all around a wood frog. It covers its whole body. Much of the water in a wood frog's body turns to ice, but the frog just sleeps. Okay, so let's say whole. It covers its whole body. So where would our answer be? Sometime, every part, or any place. It covers some time of the frog's body. It covers every part of the frog's body, or it covers any place of the frog's body. Think about which one would make the most sense and circle your answer. Question 6. Look at the word, oh boy, I'm getting way crazy with the highlighter. We'll just ignore that. Okay, look at the word still. Which of other words in the text help you understand what still means? Okay, so what other words in the text help you understand what still means? Does not move, a very long time, or wood frog feels. Okay, so let's go back to page 4. The word we're looking for is still. A frozen wood frog feels hard like a rock. Its body stays very still. It does not move. Its body stays still. It does not move. Which words help us to understand still? Does not move, very long time, or wood frog feels. We heard one of those when we read. Circle the answer that makes sense. Question 7. What does the word returns mean on page 5? Goes away, goes back, goes over. Let's go to page 5. Returns. Let's start down here. The frog hops back to the pond where it was born. It returns every spring. It eats, jumps, and swims until the next winter. Then it freezes again. So if it returns every spring to the pond, let's find our answer. Does it mean it goes away, it goes back, or it goes over? If it returns, it goes. Think about your answer and circle it. Look at the chart. What happens in the spring? All right, so we have our seasons here. We have fall. It says the wood frog finds a safe spot. Winter, the wood frog freezes. Spring, remember spring is the season where things start to get warmer, the weather starts to change, there might be more rain, there might be more water, the sun starts to come out. So what happens in spring? The wood frog wakes up, the wood frog stays still, or the wood frog goes to sleep. In the spring. Spring comes, the frozen wood frog warms up. It starts to move again. The frog hops back to the pond where it was born. It returns every spring. Eats, jumps, and swims until next winter. All right, so now looking at our chart, spring, the wood frog wakes up, the wood frog stays still, or the wood frog goes to sleep. Circle the answer that you think is correct. All right, Princeton K, that is it for this week's story about the wood frog. If you get a chance, I would love for you to send me your answers, send me your work, and let me know how you're doing on your packet this week. All right, we'll see you later, Princeton K.